Hi everyone, check this out. This is Crazy Crust Pizza. Mix it in a bowl. You don't have to spread it out like regular pizza dough. You just pour it into the pan like that, smooth it out, put your toppings on, and away you go. Let's give it a try right now. I can't wait. So the first thing we need is our ingredients. The original recipe called for just pepperoni. We're going to put some onions, some ham, which we're just going to cut into little dicey squares. Next up, 1 can of mushrooms. That's Windsor style, by the way. And our last ingredient is going to be pineapple. So I got a little container of pineapple tidbits. And that's going to be our Windsor Hawaiian pizza. So now to make the crust, we need 2 eggs, and this is, I'm trying to make half and half cream. So I did a little bit of cream and the rest milk, because I had 1% milk and a bunch of 18% cream. So I kind of did the math, and yeah, it worked out pretty good to 50-50, half and half. Into our bowl goes our flour, just 1 cup. Some oregano, about a teaspoon. A little bit of salt, once again about a teaspoon. And then we're going to mix all the dry ingredients together. Next up are 2 eggs. Into the mix they go. And our 3/4 cup of half and half. And this is basically going to be our crust. Break up the eggs, mix it all around into a paste. I think, I could have put maybe a little more than a 3/4 cup of half and half. Just a little bit. But it still worked out. The pan I used was a little big, so I think that may have been my issue, because it was pretty cool. So here's our dough. It looks like pancake mix, to be honest. We've got our big cookie sheet. You need something with sides on it. We'll give it a quick spray. Now, usually what we do is we throw a little cornmeal down, just to give it a little safety net from sticking to the bottom of the pan. However, since we're pouring, I didn't think that would work at all, so I didn't even bother to try. Maybe next time I will. And now we take our basically batter, and we're going to pour it into our pan, just like this. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, is this really going to work? I mean, I'm sure it might bake. Are we really going to get a decent pizza crust out of this? Well, I guess that's why we're doing it. We're going to find out. And we spread it out as best we can. And I don't want it too thin, because then it's too thin, right? So I made it about as thin as I thought was reasonable. And honestly, it would have been better a little thicker. So should I have used a smaller baking sheet, this would have worked. I used a kind of a medium one. So if you got the little small ones, it's probably a perfect size. By the way, this was good for about 3.5 people. So I've taken my spatula, I've spread it all out as square as I could make it. It wasn't perfect by any stretch. And now we put our toppings on. So this is going to be a rough Hawaiian, which, by the way, was invented down the road from us, about 50 miles down the road in 1960. Hooray! So we put the ham on first. Sprinkle it all around, and you saw how much we had. It wasn't a ton, but once you spread it out on your pizza, it's almost like throwing raisins on top of a cake batter. At least it seemed like. So next up, we're going to throw our mushrooms down. And like I said, the original recipe was just pepperoni. How hard is that? What's the point in a pepperoni pizza? I guess if you're little and that's what you like, it's perfect. Yeah, I want a little more. So there, we pretty well covered our soon-to-be pizza with our can of mushrooms. And as with any topping, you can put on what you want, what you don't want. So in this case, we're throwing on some onions, but we're only going to do half with onions. Well, 2/3-ish. And last but not least comes our pineapple tidbits. And you want to spread them around too. It never looks like there's enough, but believe me, there's enough. So there we have it. Okay, into the oven, 425 preheated, of course, about 20 minutes. Now we're going to take it out because it is not quite done. You notice there's no cheese on it. So we've got about half a jar of pizza sauce. And yeah, I was going to spread it out, and then I thought, yeah, how are you going to do that? You're going to mess up all the toppings. So just kind of spoon that out as best you can. And last but not least, of course, is the mozzarella, which is the exact opposite of the way I normally make a pizza. Usually goes pizza sauce, cheese, then the toppings. So the toppings kind of sink into the cheese. I'm pretty sure this works because I've had pizzas where they do put the cheese on top. So we used about 1.5 cups of nice shredded mozzarella. Back into the oven it's going to go for another 15 minutes. Make that cheese nice and melty. And look at that when it comes out. Now that looks like a good pizza. I've taken a fork and I just want to make sure it's going to hold together and it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. So it does seem a little floppy. All in all, it's not really stuck to the bottom either, so that's a good sign. Smells like a pizza. Nothing left to do but get my trusty pizza cutter out and start a slicing. Okay, not very professional, but alright, let's try and get a piece out, get it on a plate, and let's get eating. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.